And then I always like the scene with the police. It's just creepy, and they're like, "Are the doors secure?" And then he's saying, "I'm here, the Phantom of the Opera," and it like echoes all over the theater, and it's such a cool effect. And then somebody always jumps at the gunshot because nobody ever expects that to come. So that's always funny. I love that scene, and the Seal My Fate Tonight is it's so cool. Then we get to Don Juan Triumphant, which I usually don't pay attention to because I'm getting ready for Point of No Return to come, so I'm like, yep, okay, Baldo Bianchi singing, la la la. He's gonna seduce her, okay, but I know what's gonna happen. So then we get to Point of No Return, which is like, oh god. I must also mention here that Act 2 always seems like it goes so much faster for me than Act 1. It's like Masquerade starts, and then all of a sudden it's like Point of No Return is there, and I'm like, where did the show go? Then I get really depressed because I realize the show is going to be ending soon, and that makes me really sad. But then I'm like, but I want to see Point of No Return because I love it. Yeah, cool. So, Point of No Return is a magnificent song. A lot of my friends, whenever I show them clips of the stage show, they're like, how the hell does she not know it's him? Obviously in the movie she knows it's him because there's like, there's a little mask. But I think the point is that Piangi's supposed to be wearing a big cloak. I don't know why, I think that's kind of a weird costume choice if you're trying to seduce somebody. But hey, it doesn't have to make sense. So, my idea is she's kind of like hypnotized under a spell and sort of in the moment of performing an opera because she is in the mindset of being, you know, in his opera. She is a performer, you know, so she kind of is caught up in it, I guess, and I enjoy the different blocking. There's subtle differences between the West End version and the Broadway version / US version. I don't like how they shortened it in the Vegas version. I haven't actually seen it, but I've been looking at clips and stuff, and if you're gonna shorten a song, like, why Point of No Return? Because that's, like, my favorite one of them. I can never say which one's my favorite, but now that I'm talking about Point of No Return, that's my favorite right now. Anyway, so, yeah, I really like Christine when she's, like, really sassy in Point of No Return. Like, when I saw Jennifer, oh my god, it was really awesome. She, like, put her leg up on the bench, and John Cuddy, like, ran his hand up her leg, and it was just really sexy, which the song really is. And then Trista Moldovan, she also did the leg on the bench thing, or foot on the bench thing, but when Tim Martin Gleason went to reach for it, she was like, shoo, and pulled it away. He was like, you can't touch this. Yeah, and then when she does, oh god, the hands thing, when it's like, how long should we two wait before we're one? I love the Phantom's hands when he's like, grab. You know, how he like, rises, his hands, like, just, I don't even know. Yeah, really, really good, and then she, like, feels his mask, and she's like, oh, shit, it's the Phantom. So I don't know if she, like, was suddenly reminded it was the Phantom, or that's the point where she actually realizes it. I think that's the point that she actually realizes it. Some people are like, no, she knows the whole time, and that one just is like, snaps her into actual reality more, or something. So my idea is that she doesn't realize it until she's just in the performance, then she feels the mask, and she's like, that's not supposed to be there, oh my god, it's the Phantom. So then she tries to run away, and depending on the degree of her resistance, they, like, literally drag her back on stage, and she, you know, pulls off his cape, and there he is, and he's like, oh no, and she's like, oh no, and so they kind of, like, turn and run in different directions, and the manager's like, no, stay on there, and keep them distracted, and the most heartbreaking reprise of All I Ask of You, like, lead me, save me from my solitude, oh my god, I just tear up every time, and he's got the ring, and he loves her so much, and he wants to be anywhere she is, and then she pulls off his freaking mask and wig, and then everyone's like, blah, and then after he runs off stage with her, which is less dramatic than the movie, but I mean, they can't really do that much about that, there's always the police guy that runs on and shoots at them, and that's the one that scares me, even though I know it's coming. I know, I've seen the show enough times to know that the guy's gonna run on, but I'm so absorbed in the action of the Phantom and Christine like, and his beautiful singing and asking her to love him, basically. And I forget that it's coming, and then I'm like, oh, shoot. And I try to pretend like I didn't jump, even though I totally did. Yeah, really? And then there's chaos and whatnot, and then, you know, Raoul on the bridge. I actually think that's pretty damn scary that he jumps off that, I've heard a couple of Raoul's have had very bad injuries, and somebody, like, went on with a broken leg after they missed the mat or something. I'm like, God, people get their asses kicked in this show. And then, so, final layer is thundering towards us at an amazingly quick pace. And then I suddenly am like, oh my god, no, there's only like 10 minutes of the show left. But, yeah. You don't get the insanity from the movie of the Phantom. He's a freaking psychopath, and you can really tell during Final Layer, depending on the degree of the actor. I've seen, you know, like, kind of crazy to, like, Mermaid Karimlu, when Christine pulls off his mask at Point of No Return, he has this ungodly scream that's like, "Ah!" He freaks out, and I mean, I would too if I had a face like that and I was trying to keep it hidden and I thought that she was going to kiss me and then my mask was gone. So, the wedding dress is gorgeous. I have to say that. And it's such a good scene, and I love how snarky he is when he's like, when Raoul comes and he's like welcoming in his lair and, you know, raising the portcullis, and sometimes they try and like run out of it and he closes it and they're like, oh no, what do we do? I love how the doll's always on the throne, and some of them, like, Hugh Panaro gets really, really into it and, like, takes the doll and, like, whips it off stage because he's really pissed off. Just the way he says, like, you've truly made my night, he says it in such a way that's, like, obviously, some of the other Phantoms say it as, like, a joke, and Hugh Panaro sounds like, you son of a bitch, you ruined my night. That scene must suck for Raoul, though, because he's got to, like, stand there and pretend like he's being strangled, and it's obviously not going to strangle him because he has to still sing. So, I mean, you gotta be a good actor to deal with that shit. And then I was watching a clip of the Vegas version, and he's, like, in a cage with spikes and stuff that, like, rises out of the ground and holds him up. I had no idea that was going to happen. And I was like, what is going on? Oh my god. So that was really intense. I think I like the simplicity of the lasso better. And that scene is like, you can see the Phantom breaking down where, you know, John Cusack gets really into it when he does the Start a New Life with Me. He, like, grabs the Christine and he always is like, he, like, lowers them to the ground and, like, hunches over them and stuff. And it's, like, in their face, really freaky.
Start a new life with me, find this freedom.
For a second you're like, oh my god, he's gonna kill Christine. Like, he's so crazy that he could do that, because, you know, he almost did. Oh, that is, like, the best imagery in the book that I can remember, is when she tells him about how she unmasked him, and she's like, he took my hands and was, like, digging my nails and his, so I can see where the crazy comes from. And then, you know, I love the trio singing all their different parts, sort of, where Raoul keeps begging Christine to say no, and the Phantom's like, this is the point of no return, and he gets progressively, like, less and less convinced that he should be doing it, and, like, he kind of, like, shrugs off Christine, and it's like, I can't deal with this, when he goes over to the throne and sits down, and she's like, I gave my mind blindly.